on you, Sophie. It's on you.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask with Dead and Hip Hop. I'm your host Sophie, and I'm sitting in with the guys, Mike.
You look
What did I
that
want to say?
She said Mike.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know which one I wanted to say. Hey Mike.
What's up?
What up, Beefo Texan?
What up?
And BZ's kind of sick, so he's on the Skype with us. Hey. So we have a question. And I don't want to say the email, and they definitely didn't give a name this time, so I'm sorry about that. But if it's your question, just holla at us, say hey. I've been watching you all on YouTube for over a year now, and I enjoy your collective views on music and hip-hop culture. My question relates to the authenticity of rap artists. Do you believe that rappers need to be hood in order to take it seriously? They put that in quotation marks, though. Do you care about an artist's past, and should an artist's past influence people's perception of their music? For example, Childish Gambino and Kanye West have been criticized in the past for not being ghetto enough, and to what extent, if at all, is this fair? I'm
just trying to recall, and you know, I'm serious, that somebody have to tell me. Like, I don't remember. Was Kanye and Childish really criticized that heavily?
Kanye was. Yeah, for being. Remember, Jim Jones came at him really hard when Kanye first came out. Well, not when he first came out, because you remember when he first came out, he was all, in terms of his image, he was all right. But then when he started wearing the skinny stuff and just changing his whole image, Jim Jones was real hard on him. So yeah, no, Kanye got a lot of flack. Childish gets some flack, but I think because of where we are in hip hop now, it's more acceptable. So like people aren't really going at him the same way they were Kanye early on. But here's the thing, man. I think that, you know, hip hop has always had like that hood look to it, but at the end of the day, you don't have to be hood to be a rapper or to be a good rapper or to create good music. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that you have to fit any type of look or sound or anything like that. I think that
Rick Ross gets criticized for it.
For his authenticity, of course, because he was, you know, PO, and now you talking about you moved like gigatons of weight and shit. So,
but you said it doesn't matter though.
No. Your image. You know what I'm saying? Like your image, how you look, how you dress. I don't really feel like that is such a big thing. Like if your music is good and you're relatable to people, then I feel like you're a good artist to me. Like there's people I like you said, right? Ross. I like Ross. Yeah, I give him flack for the PO thing as well, but I like his music, so I give him a pass. You know, not being objective, being solely subjective. I give him a pass. I like his music. Big Crit, I love his music. Kanye, I love his music. I don't care what he's wearing, and I remember when we were I don't
think it's about just wearing. It's about like actual who they are, where they come from. Like yeah,
and I think the thing is with Childish and Kanye, the two examples that the guys were out there, they're not really rapping about hood shit. So I don't think it really matters whether or not, you know, if that's not something that they embody, that they, you know, rap about in their music. I don't think it matters for them. I don't know why anybody would go out there for, you know, not being hood enough when they're not rapping about being in the
well, if those aren't good examples, like how do you feel about the overall thing, like somebody that was in that type of situation?
I think authenticity in hip hop definitely was a thing, because it was kind of born out of that when it went through that period where people were rapping about the experiences in the streets, the NWAs, you know, and all the little gangster rap music that was out.
Ghetto Boys.
Yeah, Ghetto Boys.
Those said that Willie D. Willie D said he really wasn't like in it like that. He just rapped about it.
Yeah, some people said there are people that just rap about what they've seen.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't think it. Right now, what happened with Rick Ross kind of changed the game. Because when Rick Ross was accepted for being a PO and not being as authentic as he claimed to be, and he still managed to not only have a career, but have a bigger career than he had before in the past, I don't think it really matters as much as it did in the past. You know, because Rick Ross, he walked scot-free. Not only from the people that listen and buy and support his music, but it also from the people that are in the industry.
I think you know what, where hip hop is now. I 100% agree with you. I think when hip hop came up, like it was all about your background and your credibility and how you translated that to your music. And I think now we're much more in a creative space. And you know, I'm late into hip hop and I haven't gone all the way back and listened to every single body, but you know, I don't know if they were that creative. I think it was more so about who you were from the street and translating that to music. And I just think we're in a whole nother space now.
Yeah.
I don't think you should concentrate too hard on a rapper's past. You know, Brother Ali says, you know, the truth don't belong to nobody. If you see it, you speak it. And I believe that. If you want to be taken seriously and you're telling stories about things you've seen or things you've heard, I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, if you're playing and pretending that you are this person, then that's when the issue starts. If Waka really didn't come from that life, but he's rapping all those songs, I think it would be kind of an issue because or T.I. would be a better example actually. Mm-hmm. If T.I. had never been in the trap, but he was saying he made all those albums and all these songs about that, then I think it would be kind of a problem because we'd be like, well, we don't really believe you. But I think that mentality only goes for certain types of rap fans. Most rap fans nowadays do not care about authenticity. Go read the Common Star fucking Iggy conversation. They don't care about any of that shit. As long as the music's good, they don't give a fuck about anything else. The whole authenticity thing comes from people that are our age that grew up, like he said, with rappers that they weren't playing a role. They were really those people. They were really hood-ass dudes that just happened to pick up a microphone. Nowadays, it's all money and it's all about entertainment.
Laptop.
And yeah, being a laptop rapper, a laptop producer. You know, I don't know, man. I guess it should only matter if you're a certain type of rapper.
A dude like Kanye, I don't care what your background is. Like, you got a musical background, like whatever music you want to make, because your music is different. It's not quote unquote hood, it's creative.
Same way with Tribe Called Quest. You can say the same thing about Tribe Called Quest when they came out back in early 90s, during the time when you had NWA and, you know, all the gangster rap wave kind of conquering the rap scene, and then you had these guys dressing up a certain type of way or rapping about a certain type of thing, but you know, it was still good music. You still didn't care. Oh, I know I didn't care about it because Beneath That Boom, that's a relatable song. You know what I'm saying? So I think it doesn't matter to me. I mean, yeah, like Ken, like Mike said, I mean, we grew up in an era where it was being reported to us like the news. You know what I'm saying? So,
but okay, so let's flip that then. What if it was like you use Tribe Called Quest as an example? Like say, like the things they were rapping about. What if they really wasn't about that righteousness and all that type of stuff? Like, and in real life, they wasn't those people. Like, how would you feel about that? You still would like their music?
Yeah, I probably still like the music. I mean, I think it's fucked up, but I mean, it ain't gonna still. I mean, it ain't gonna still dislike me from not liking the Electric Relaxation or War Tour. Because I mean, when I'm hearing the music, I'm like, hell yeah. So I don't think it's gonna. I ain't gonna sit there and be like, man.
No, I'm saying if you knew, but if you knew it, like say if you knew that they really wasn't about that life, but they was rapping about it at the time, like how would you have felt about? Would you still think you would have felt that way?
I have to be in that situation to know. I don't know. I mean, but as far as what they made, I love it. I mean, I love it. So I can't really go by that.
Yeah.
Like if we met Brother Ali, like when we met Brother Ali, right. Brother Ali was a dick. That would have changed my perception about all of his music.
Right.
Because he raps about unity, brotherhood, you know, love.
And he comes off that way.
Yeah, he presents that.
Mm-hmm.
If we walked in the room and we met Brother Ali and Brother Ali was like, y'all niggas got 10 minutes, let's go. I'd have been like, damn, what? What just happened? Like, what about us?
Right.
Brother Ali, what about us?
Right.
Then yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. That would have completely changed my perception of him. But I think that still comes from that older generation. I think if the younger kids, I think they probably expect rappers to be assholes. They probably wouldn't care because I don't think they connect to the music the way we did when we were growing up. Like when we hear a song, like we take that shit really seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think younger kids, it's just music. Like same with Slug. Like if I met Slug and he was just a complete and total dick, I would just be like, God damn. But then there's certain rappers that I love that I expect them to be assholes.
Yeah.
I think kids just do listen to music and it's just music. But I also think that when you do listen to this generation's music, you expect for them to be assholes by the shit that they're rapping about. Like, oh yeah, I took your girl this, I don't give a fuck, it's 300. Like, motherfucker, like first of all, you're not even talking English. A lot of these motherfuckers, y'all not even talking English. And then, like, the shit that you rapping about, it's not like I could come up to you and be like, yo, what's good, man? By your music, you probably gonna try to holler at my girl.
Why do you feel like it was respected so much differently versus like the transition that it came through, or that it's in, or whatever today? Like, why is it just music versus like, oh,
because it's just about it being, it's like a cool thing now. It's just cool to rap. Whereas people like really love to rap then.
Right.
Yeah, and it was it's almost like, you know, it's always been an outlet, but it's been an outlet for different reasons.
Yeah.
Like, it was an outlet prior to, like, way back in the day, because we didn't have a voice. We didn't have anything. Like, we didn't have really a culture, and it was created out of nothing. So people wanted to partake and be part of that. Now it is an outlet in terms of, yo, let me go get this quick cash. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. And, you know, there's really no, it's not genuine anymore. I can't say not anymore, because there are a lot of brand new artists that are young as hell, that are very genuine and are really contributing to the culture.
Like Clear Soul.
Like Clear Soul, like Bishop Nehru, like there's a lot of them. But there's also a lot of them that are in our public light that you think are, that is the representation of hip hop, and they're just in it for a check. And they're here today, gone tomorrow.
There's been an improvement in the generations. If you look at, you know, like for instance, my kids, right, they'll be in a better situation than I was when I was growing up, like I was when, you know, when my parents were growing up. And I think that is starting to kind of, you're starting to kind of hear that in the music a little bit. Except for those that are kind of still stuck in the rut, like, again, going back to Chief Keef, who's grown up in a very hostile environment. That's the only thing he can rap about, you know, as best as he can. But for all these other kids that are out there that, like you guys said, when they see music as a thing to do, as it's fun, it's popular, you know, I can get my laptop and go into a closet and record music. I think for them, you know, they're looking at it as the cool thing to do. Instead of, as for some rappers when we were growing up, as almost like a way out.
Yeah.
So I think that there's been a certain improvement in generation. That's why I think sometimes you hear kind of the music kind of change, and the way we look at the music has changed, where we're not looking at them to be as authentic as they were when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I don't see that at all, man. How is the I don't get it. Like, the education system is still shit. Our levels of graduating college and high school is still shit.
Right.
I don't understand what you mean.
There's still a lot of kids that are sitting at home that are in good situations in subdivision listening to music, that have more privileges, that have access to stuff that we don't have to. You're talking about kids now, that these kids that, at least in my head, what I'm looking at, are the kids that are on the internet that are partaking this type of rap culture, instead of a lot of people that are like really out here on the streets doing stuff like that. Right. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the improved situation.
And then you apply it to yourself. Like, I can see what he's saying. Like, towards me, like, my daughter's definitely gonna be in a better situation
because of you.
Because that I'm in, but
right. But the generation doesn't seem like it's getting better. But you guys are doing different because you grew up in shit situations. You want to make them better for your kids.
Right.
That's why I'm a little confused.
But because they are in an improved situation, they're out. The way they look at the music will be different than the way that we looked at the music when we were growing up. Because when we were growing up, at least for me, you know, we're out there in certain situations because of that. But these kids, at least my kid, he won't have to go through any of that stuff. So he's gonna listen to, this is bad as he's gonna listen to guys that, like a Childish Gambino, you know what I'm saying, like a Kanye West, that has a little bit more of an artistic viewpoint. The music is more creative. It's a little bit more, more artistic.
Yeah, I know where he's coming from. Like using J. Cole as a prime example, right? Like, a lot of the newer artists that are coming out now that we like, that is like, yo, this is quality music. They're not on like the hood type of stuff like Wu-Tang came out when we were growing up, right? Or at least when I was growing, like y'all were already a little bit older. But like when Wu-Tang came out, their subject matter is completely different from the people that are younger now that we revere as the future generations of hip hop, because they did have it different.
If you're talking about the people that we like, though, that I don't think that that's really a clear indication of who the future generation of hip hop is, because those guys aren't ruling hip hop. The guys that are on top right now, like the younger generation, who are we talking about right now? The guys that are on top.
And I'm going back to the example when you got the Kanye's or the Childish Gambinos,
Right.
those guys that are more creative in their music. So for me, when she asked her question, why is there such, where did the difference come from? And I think that because the kids that are growing up now, the 18-year-old, 20-year-old, their situations are far better than the situations we were in growing up. So they are more likely to appeal to the artistic, creative crowd.
I don't understand. Like,
Why not? Because that's why when it comes to the authenticity that he's talking about, the hood crowd, I don't think for them it matters as much. I think for them hip hop is cool, and I just like the music.
Right. But that's got nothing to do with the generation being in a better place. That just has to do with the fact the generation no longer cares about issues. That's not because they're in a better place. If you can go to the worst parts of any city and talk to those dudes, they don't know what's going on and they don't care. All they care about is, I'm trying to get the fuck out of this situation. I'm trying to sell drugs or do whatever I gotta do to get out of this situation. It's not because they're in a better position.
So the ones that are in the subdivisions and stuff like that, I'm not necessarily talking about.
Because we weren't in subdivisions. But there's plenty of hoods that are listening to hip hop. That's why I'm confused. You're saying that the generations are better or are getting better because when we grew up, we were not in those positions. But you're talking about people in the suburbs. There were dudes in the suburbs when we were growing up to listen to hip hop too.
Yes.
I don't think the generations are really getting that much better.
But the music wasn't as diverse as it is now back
Absolutely
then.
not. You're right.
Okay.
You're right. But that doesn't mean the generations are getting better.
No,
It just means that hip hop is getting more diverse because hip hop is now trendy. Hip hop was not trendy when we were younger. Hip hop is now trendy to the point where it's affecting not only black kids, it's affecting white kids, and not just white kids, it's affecting suburban, upper middle class white kids. That element was not really that strong when we were younger. That's why you have this new element in hip hop. It's not because the generations of kids are getting better. Black kids are still not really doing much better now than they were when we were younger.
But at the same time, like if you go to the hood and you ask them, name me some of your favorite rap artists, ain't nobody gonna say Crit, ain't nobody gonna say you see, all right, and I think that goes to what Ken's trying to say, that a lot of kids are on these guys, but the hood ones, because of their environment, they're not prospering. But there are a lot more kids now that are prospering and not in those environments. That I think that's what contributes to hip hop and the future of hip hop, and where all of these artists are.
The people that are listening to Crit are the ones that are going to be contributing to the future of hip hop. I think that's where I'm confused by y'all's statements right now, because I don't think
those
that
kids are more open to more avenues of hip hop, of more of the creative stuff like Ken was referencing, versus kids that are not in a better environment. They're not going to be. They don't listen to that. They just, a lot of them don't.
I think the only reason that those things are happening is because hip hop itself is getting more diverse, because it's getting bigger. It doesn't have anything at all to do with generations changing. I don't see what y'all are talking about. I'm not trying to be argumentative. I just really don't get it. The generations are still bad. They're still bad. So it's just that hip hop has gotten bigger. So look, when you had hip hop when we were younger, hip hop pretty much affected like this group of people, right?
Right.
Add 10 years to that, it affects this group of people. Now when you're in 2014, it's affecting this group of people. So you have all of these different elements coming into hip hop. It's not because generations are changing. It's because hip hop is changing. Hip hop is now encompassing more people. It's encompassing, no offense of course, but it's encompassing more white people, more rich people, which those elements were not there when we were younger.
I don't know, man. I see what you're saying, but I also see that, yeah, things are still shitty. Things are not the best, but I do think that there has been improvement in the black communities. That's why there are more people like, you know, my kid or Rod kid or the kids that they're going to grow with, or even my brother-in-law, and I'm watching him and the crowd that he hangs around with. That's far more diverse than the crowd that I used to hang around with. Why? Because his generation, he's a byproduct of the work that his parents put in. Just like my kid is going to be a byproduct of the work that I put in, same thing with Rod, in the same way that I was a byproduct of the work that my parents put in. So my situation is better than theirs was, and the same thing's gonna happen with my kid, and the same thing that happened with him. So,
but you're talking about situational things. You're not talking about an entire generation.
But that does affect the generation. But that encompasses the generation.
The entire generation. And you're looking at statistics. How can you say it's getting better? I'm not isolating. You're isolating. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm using that as an example because obviously it's not going to be isolated to just me or my brother-in-law that's in college, right, that's growing up more diverse than I did.
You're using like a sample.
It's a sample size. Yeah, it's a small sample size.
Right.
So that encompasses all of Henry County or Clayton County, because those Cobb County are those people that are in those subdivisions or in those outer communities. Those African American kids are in far better situations. That generation, that small generation, is in a far better situation than their parents was. I don't.
Yeah.
Now you're saying that small generation. Now I'm just
small sample
because
size.
before you were saying the generations are bigger. Now you're saying that small generation. But you're telling me not to isolate.
Forget small generation.
You just said that.
All right, I said it. Forget it. Just wipe it out. I'm going back. Okay, but I'm telling you now, just forget about it. But if I'm telling you to forget about it, then just wipe it away from your memory. But she said it was a sample size. So what I'm saying, I'm going back to that. So forget small generation. Sample size. I'm using that as a sample size for what I'm talking about. And that's what I'm saying, how the generations has improved, and I'm using that as an example.
Still doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. When we're talking about a large majority of African American youth, they're still in a fucked up, shitty place. But you're saying yeah, sure there are, but there were some in better situations back then too. So what I'm saying
not as many though.
Hold on. What I'm saying is you're saying the generations are getting better, and that's why hip hop is now getting more diverse. Those statements don't really make a lot of sense to me. When we were younger, how many rappers were rapping about being rich and just being rich? Not from the hood, not from hustling, I'm just rich.
No, they used to rap about getting rich.
Right.
About getting there, the things that they want to do to get
and what
there.
were they going
The only people that came out and just blatantly act like they had it was Hot Boys. They said bling, and they didn't really have that stuff, but they used to rap about as if they did have it, and everybody's like, oh, they don't have that stuff. That's the only people I remember that was rapping about.
And I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
But when you look at situations now, it's like rappers.
People are rapping about riches now.
Say what?
People are rapping about riches now.
Right. Even if they don't have it, they're not talking about those things, even though those things still exist. That's why you have people like Killer Mike that are like, what the fuck? We have all this fucked up shit happening, and y'all ain't rapping about it. The generations are still fucked up. Yeah, they might be slightly better, but that's not why hip hop is changing. Hip hop is only changing because hip hop is getting bigger. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe because of the way they grew up, they feel like they don't have to rap about it because it doesn't really necessarily apply to them because they didn't have to go through it.
Right.
So you think that the rappers that are rapping about riches now, they grew up rich, so that's why they're rapping about it. I'm just trying to make sure I understand y'all's point.
Some of the rappers that are not, going back to what you're saying, some of the rappers, the ones that have money, obviously they're gonna rap about it. But the ones that are growing up now, that the younger crowd, I'm talking about the younger crowd, these younger breed of rappers that are out here, I don't think, depending on where they grew up, no, they're not gonna rap about this stuff because it didn't necessarily apply to them.
It's not because the generations are getting better, the generations are now being expanded. Hip hop is now accepting far more white people, especially upper middle class white people. When we were younger, you couldn't have a fucking G-Eazy when we were younger. Hell fucking no. That shit would not have been accepted. You could not have some upper middle class white rapper coming into hip hop rapping about fucking upper middle class white shit. Hell fucking no. That shit happens now because hip hop has now accepted that shit. And that's what I've been trying to say for the past 30 motherfucking minutes. But you keep trying to fucking argue. Nah, dog, all I'm saying is it's not because the generations are improving that hip hop is becoming more diverse. It's because hip hop hop is just now they're seeing there's money in it. There was no money when we were younger. But when you look at hip hop now, every motherfucker can get rich.
But generations are proving you can.
All right. Because I 100% agree with you, and I wasn't disagreeing with you, and I wasn't disagreeing with you either. I was more so on your point until you made your point.
Because I didn't get a fucking chance to make my fucking point.
And I agree with you, and I agree with you. It's just that the generations. I agree with you. It hasn't moved it as much as just as hip hop becoming more diverse, but.
I'm just saying, that's all I can fucking say.
And I feel you.
Fuck all you want, Cam. That's all I've been
And I feel you. But I also think that me and Ken's point of the generations being at a better place has more of an impact than what you're willing to give it.
Okay.
That's just me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And but I agree with you though.
I feel you.
Anyways, so that was the end of it. And this has been Ask with Us.
This is the first time she's been in a hostile
think
dead end
so.
hip hop environment. Like I was telling Rob, I was like, I don't know what it is about this crib. This crib bring it out. Like, yo, like
It's comfort. It's the comfort.
I
man.
think
That's
so.
what it is.
That wasn't hostile.
not comparatively, not some of the shows that we
You
have.
the one that was getting mad.
All right,
But I'm just
well-
saying, since you
Let her close it. Let her close it. We'll talk about this afterwards. Let's close it.
Thank you. So anyways, so I just figured out that your name was Randy. So thanks, Randy, for this lovely question. Don't forget to send all of your questions to ask@deadendhiphop.com or to our Twitter, ask_DEHH. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Dead End Hip Hop. And until next time, see you guys later. Bye.